Hey guys, it's Katy at scrappinkaty.ctmh.com, and today I am joining the creative design team to bring you a YouTube pop featuring creative alphabets. And this time we are trying not to use the Cricut. So I have pulled out my all-purpose mat and a sheet of 12 by 12 white daisy cardstock, just plain old cardstock, and I have pulled out an alphabet stamp from my stash. Now this stamp set is no longer available, but any stamp set will work. Now I did choose the stamp set because I love that the alphabet is not in the right order and that some of the letters are random. You know, they're upside down or sideways. Unlike this stamp set. See how all the letters are going in order, very kept. This one's just random and all over the place. And so that's why I chose this one. Now I'm only going to be using this one sheet, and I'm going to turn that over and then take my black ink pad. Now any ink would work. And I'm just going to apply ink to all of these letters by gently pressing down. Now this might prove a little bit difficult if you have fingernails, but because I've been quarantined, I'm not able to get my nails done, so they are pretty short right now. And so I'm going to turn this over, and then I quickly realize that some of the letters need just a little bit more ink, so I'm going to just take that and press down on top of that black ink pad, kind of off camera, and get those letters really inked up. And then I'm going to bring that back over to my cardstock, and you notice that I am having those top row of letters stamping off the project, and it just makes it where it seems like it's never ending. You know, I want this layout. It's pretty much going to be blocked out from left to right, or at least I think my eyes do that, but not top to bottom, if that makes sense. So I'm just going to repeat this process a couple of more times. Now on that bottom row, I'm only going to ink up that top row and then move my paper up and then press down. And so that carrier sheet is serving like an acrylic block, and you can see here it's super easy to clean up. I don't have to take each individual letter off, stamp it, clean it, put it back on the carrier sheet. Now here's a layout I did from a couple of years ago, and I used a stamp set that was in the order, and all I did was I took those letters that you can see by the ABC and I replaced them with Friends and then stamped it in different colors. So you really can do whatever you want. So I'm going to try and mimic that inspirational layout that is in the current idea book, the brand new one that was available May 1st, 2020. And then, you know, I am on this kick of using my shimmer brush. So I've done that. And then I'm just going to clean that up, and then we're going to start assembling the layout. So I've decided to use the brand new mix-ins as well as the stitched together line. And so I am just going to start layering my photo onto these different pieces of pattern paper. Now, much like the inspiration piece in the catalog, I do want the photo mats to not be perfect, if that makes sense. Now, I'm not going to put them sideways or anything. I am going to keep the photo mats straight up and down, but I definitely want larger photo mats off to the left, the right, the top, the bottom. You'll see what I'm talking about here in just a second. So on this one, I've adhered my photo, and you can see that the photo mat doesn't go above the top of the photo, and it also doesn't reach to the right of the photo. And then I'm kind of doing the same with that mint piece of pattern paper. And then I'm trying to decide if I want the letters to show on the left or right of my photo. And then I just love that striped paper from Stitched Together. So I'm going to use that instead of letting the letters show, and I've trimmed off 2 1-inch strips. And then I'm going to just adhere those to the side of that photo mat, just to about 3/4 of an inch show. And then I really want this pretty diagonal striped peach pattern paper to show, and then also this heart zip strip. So I've pulled out my inspiration piece again, and I am pulling out the stickers from the Stitched Together sticker sheet. And then I'm also using my wax paper technique. So if you are a follower of mine, you know that I love to use wax paper for stickers. And I just put the stickers down on the wax paper and then cut around them. And that allows me to kind of play with the placement of the stickers without actually adhering them down until I am ready. So I've also pulled out an old Cricut cut that I cut. And then that red sticker with that tiny butterfly will go up at the top left. So now I'm going to start adhering everything down. Now for that peach diagonal paper, I have decided to use a scrap from one of my Cricut projects. And I just love that I didn't throw that away since only a little bit of it's going to show. I can use that instead of wasting a 2-inch strip from that other paper. And then I'm going to start adhering everything down. Now originally I just thought that this layout would look wonderful with a pop of that canary yellow. But it didn't look as well as I thought it would. So I ended up taking my Cricut spatula and peeling that off, and I'm not going to use it. And then now I am ready to commit to those stickers. So I have pulled those off. Now I am going to add 3D foam to that green leaf as well as the butterfly. So I'm just taking the sticky off with my anti-static pouch. And then for the butterfly, I'm using the foam squares from the center of our shaker window foam, just so they will be a little higher than that leaf. So I've pulled out some pink thread from my stash, and I just cut a little bit, and then I just start jumbling it all together with my fingertips. Now I do want it to show from behind that butterfly, so I'm going to play with the placement here in just a second, or for a while, and then finally I'm happy with it. And then that foam from that butterfly will secure the rest in place. So I also need to mimic that thread look up at the top left behind that other flower. So I'm just going to put some tape adhesive down and then poke around those tails and those loops until I'm satisfied. And then I am ready to cut this heart zip strip from that mix-in collection. Now I love it because it's just tiny little hearts. I'm going to pull out my T-ruler to make sure not only that it's straight across the bottom, but that I've got equal distance from the left to the right of the layout. Now I'm going to add some clear shimmer to that butterfly, those dark spots, as well as the center of that red flower up at the top. And then I just think it needs something else. So I am pulling out the May 2020 Stamp of the Month from Close to My Heart. Now this stamp set is only $5 with a qualifying purchase. It's full of sentiments. It's also got these tiny little icons that I'm going to use. So it's got a larger heart and then a middle-size heart. And then I'm using the tiny, tiny heart, inking it up in candy apple and then stamping those in a triangle. It's also got these little X's that look like stitches. And so I'm going to kind of stitch around that photo mat as well as that bottom corner. And then I'm going to go ahead and mimic that in that top left corner. Now I want to use one of the sentiments, and so there is a perfect little sentiment that's in typewritten font, and it says Best Friends. And I love it because it truly is, it describes my husband and our daughter. You know, we have the 3 older boys, and he's just not mush with them like he is with my daughter, and so I added that sentiment. Now for my journaling lines, I'm going to pull out my Versamat and my T-ruler as well as my black journaling pen. And I'm just going to add journaling lines every 1/4 of an inch. And then take them all the way down to just a little past that grouping of the sapphire leaves. Now I'm also going to draw 4 tinier journal lines on that bottom left of the layout, so I can put where we were at, the time and the date. I do pull out my sticker sheet, but I really don't think this layout needs anything else. So here are some close-ups. Now you can't really tell the shimmer like I wish you could, but this layout is glowing. Now keep in mind, I will link all the products that I use down below. And then I am also going to send you over to Lisa's YouTube channel so you can check out what she has. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe and sign up for notifications so you'll be notified the next time I post a crafty video. Thanks, bye.